Good afternoon, and welcome back again to Mortgage Financing and Home Buyer Ready. I'm Barbara Grant with Cardinal Financial, and to my left, you're
Is
right.
Jackie Abrams with Sampson Properties.
I'm hoping everybody is having a beautiful Saturday today, Jackie, because the
Oh,
weather is
it's
just awesome,
so
isn't it?
beautiful out
It is
there. And
so
we're going to have
beautiful.
beautiful weather all week.
All week we're going to have
Yes,
beautiful weather, not that hot, muggy stuff
that's
anymore,
right.
right?
Some rain,
A little bit of rain,
but
but still
still
good.
good temperature. Let's say that. Not in the
Well,
90s.
absolutely. Well, I'm glad you guys are joining us again. Now, just a little recap. Last time we were here, we had Terry Milliker, and she was with Home Insurance, and she gave us a whole lot of good
She
information,
did.
right?
It was
Yeah,
excellent.
we really enjoyed that.
Yes, we did.
And this week we have something coming up good for you again. So we want you to make sure that you stay tuned and listen to us because when we come back, we're going to give you some more good information with mortgage financing and home buyer ready. So don't move. Come on back and join us. Well, thank you and for coming back to spend an hour that goes
Ooh,
quickly,
yes, it
back with us with
does.
mortgage financing and home buyer ready. Today we got a wonderful topic that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the pros and the cons of renting versus buying. So I know you guys will be ready for that. But first,
Yes.
let's do what do we call that? A little
Little
homework or house cleaning. That's what
housekeeping.
it's called. I couldn't
Housekeeping.
think of it, Jackie.
Little
It's called little
housekeeping.
house.
It's
I can't
okay.
even get it out. Okay, so if you would like to join our studio audience, we are here every second and fourth Saturday of the month. You can email us at homebuyingaudience@gmail.com. And then, of course, if you have any questions at any time on anything that we've already talked about, where can they email? You know where they can email us at? Can I?
Home buying
Is it home
questions.
buying questions?
Home
That
buying
sounds so
questions
easy,
at
doesn't it?
gmail.com.
Home buying
That's right.
questions at gmail.com. So, home buying audience, if you want to come and sit in with
That's
us,
right.
and we may ask you a question or have you ask us a question live, right?
That's right.
Or home buying questions at gmail.com. So, what we want to do now, because I know the hour usually goes fast,
It
so
does.
we want to
All the
get right
time.
in. And I
Every
know
week.
everybody is waiting to hear us talk about the pros and cons of renting versus buying.
Yes. So let me just tell you a little bit about why I think this is a great subject right now. It just so happens that I had a personal conversation with my accountant,
Okay.
and we were talking about just a myriad of things, and the topic of tax breaks came up. And so, I'm always interested in, this topic because I talk to buyers all the time, and most of the time when they come to me, they're already ready.
Right.
I don't think I'm pretty sure, 100% sure I've never convinced anyone to buy because this is the biggest purchase of their life. So they need
absolutely.
to be ready. I'm ready to sell it to them,
Right.
but they need to be ready
They
to
need to
buy.
be ready.
That's right. And so, so this is actually, as you said, Barbara, the pros and cons of renting versus buying. But then there's also a segment on if you choose to buy, it will be based. You will get, information about tax breaks if you're a buyer.
Oh, that's
that you will
awesome.
not get most of them. There's, I think, only one you get if you're
Okay.
a renter. So anyway, the topic I think it's very timely because lots of people are calling me, and I run into people all the time, family members, friends. Is this a good time
To buy.
To buy? And most of those people are already actually homeowners.
Right.
So is it a good time to buy a second property? So I have a little bit of information I share with them about that. But most of my buyers, they want to get in, and that's pretty much what I try to tell them. But what I usually try to convey is this is the biggest purchase of your life. excuse me, for most of the people that we're selling to.
Absolutely.
And you need to be ready. So for some people, the honest truth is renting will be the best thing for them.
Okay. Yep.
And then for many, buying will be the better option for them.
And a lot of times I know, Jackie, I know when you have renters, like when you tell me, Barbara, I'm taking renters out or
Yes.
whatever, and you will tell me, well, I'm preparing them to buy.
That's right.
So I'm going to have
That's
them
right.
call you, see what they need to do to get ready to buy.
That's right,
So this
Barbara.
next year, they've decided to go
That's
ahead
right.
and rent.
That's right.
And then within that year, Jackie and I, we may work with them. We got a lot of clients like that, don't we?
We have,
We
we
prepared you to buy. But Jackie's 100%. You have to be ready.
You have to.
You have to be ready.
You have to be ready. So some of the things to think about. There basically, I'm going to go over like 4 categories. There was so much information out there about renting versus buying. So I chose some specific areas to address. So if you are a renter and you want to be a lifelong renter, that is fine. It is each individual person's decision for them and their family, for them to make that decision. So some of the pros for renting, and let's think about this, Barbara. If
Okay.
you rent, you can get a lease for 1 year. Oftentimes now in this market, homeowners want you to sign up for at least 2 years.
If you're renting like somebody's house,
if
you
you're
gotta,
renting, yes. If
yeah,
you're
instead of a
renting.
company like a landlord or something, yeah.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Now, I actually, apartments may also be doing that. I'm not
2
very
years
sure.
too?
I'm not sure
Wow.
about that because
Wow.
they don't work with realtors. So
Okay. Well, yeah.
so I don't really know how that works. But if you're renting a private property of an owner and it's on the MLS, the multiple listing service that all realtors have access to, we can see their desired leasing time. And sometimes it'll say 12 months and it'll just say 12. But other times it'll say 24, 36.
They want that commitment.
They do. They do. They want that commitment. And so for people who want to rent and they definitely want a 12-month lease, you can get that. That's still possible. Of course, apartments probably do have that a lot
12,
also.
yeah.
Probably that may be their mainstay. I'm not very sure about that.
Every year you have to renew.
But you have to renew. That's right. And so for those people who enjoy the carefree lifestyle, so to speak, they have an option to move to different areas. If you have a 12 or even 24-month lease, you can move to different areas. You can travel, and not that you can't travel when you're own, but, perhaps you may want to actually move to a different part of the country or to another country.
Gives you the options.
Yeah, it gives you options. That's right. It gives you options. And of course, if you are a renter, you are not paying any property taxes. You're not paying an HOA. Not that all properties have HOAs or home owners association fees, but you don't have to pay that. And so some people feel as though, well, I don't really.
How about care and maintenance?
Yes, you do.
You
not
got to
have-
be prepared for
That's
care,
right.
care
You
and
have to
maintenance
be
too,
prepared
right?
For that. You
Okay.
definitely have to be prepared for that. However, even with renting, some homeowners will ask that you pay if there's something that's broken and they have to have their company come in to make a repair. Some homeowners will say right in the listing they want you, the renter, to be responsible. So that's $75, $100. I think I've seen as much as maybe $150.
You mean
which
up
is on
to
the
that
pricey
amount?
end.
You mean- is that
No,
what you
each time you have have to have the company come in to fix something, you're responsible. You may be, not all the time,
Responsible for the whole
for
cost, or
paying
just
the
paying that,
$75
or the 100,
or paying the $150,
almost like
whatever
insurance
it is.
deductible.
Yes, yeah.
Would it be like
I guess it's kind of
right?
like that.
But if the fee is like $500, they're still only paying the 75 or the 150.
Right, because,
okay, I got
because,
you.
because the owner has already purchased the plan, the
Got
maintenance
you.
plan.
See?
And so then there's something called a, basically it's their fee when you make an appointment. And so you pay that. Sometimes the renters have to pay that fee. And so, I mean, that's a small amount compared to what, it could be if you didn't have that. Now, lots of course, homeowners get that for themselves, and then they're paying, the $75 or $150, whatever the fee is.
Right.
But yeah, you really have to be prepared for that.
Okay.
And I don't have a lot of conversation with my clients about that. We definitely get a home inspection, and they know what what's going on with their property at the time they purchase it.
Mm-hmm.
And usually the home inspector that I use, and we've had Steve Madewell on the show
Right,
before.
absolutely.
And he is very good with giving them kind of down the road
Mm-hmm.
suggestions of what they may want to do long-term maintenance for their homes.
Okay.
So he'll say you may want to plan, for a roof in, about 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And they may say, well, how much is the cost of a roof? He actually has that right there in his.
We already knew he was
That's
great,
right.
right?
That's right. In his home inspection report, he'll have a general idea.
Idea of what it is.
So the clients are ready. Or if the HVAC is older, he'll say, these usually have a lifespan of about 15 to 20
Right.
years. This is on the end of its life. Doesn't mean it's going to crash and burn, but just be prepared. And so,
But it also helps to have the home warranty
It
in
does.
place for
It
all of that
does.
stuff,
It
right?
does.
Exactly.
It
We talked
does.
about that, so that's not what we're going to talk about.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. And of course, if you're renting, so those are the pros.
Okay.
You can travel, you can move as frequently as you want. You don't have those high bills for taxes or maintenance, those kinds of things. But some of the cons, some of the cons, some of the cons would be for home ownership. That you are not actually building wealth of your own.
That's right.
As I say to my renters, not to pressure you, but just think about the fact that you're literally paying someone else's mortgage. And I'm in that situation where I have a renter. I purchased a property in 1992. I started renting it in 2006, and since 2006, somebody else has been paying my mortgage on my rental property.
Absolutely.
And so, believe me, I love it. So I don't want that to stop.
But I do have to say this much, though, too. I think that's wonderful. That means that she had some wonderful experiences. Me, on the other hand, tried it twice. I'm a loan officer, right? So all of you probably think out there I'm an investor, right? I used to be, but a landlord was not being good for me. So, those are things you have to think
Right.
about.
That's
And
right.
I used the
You're
company.
absolutely right.
I used the company
You
to
are.
bring the people in, and it's expensive.
Things happen.
Yes.
And I'm actually in that situation right now, Barbara.
Okay. See.
Where something has happened with my renter, and so I'm working with her, and she's doing, I guess, as much as she can do.
Right.
So it's not really an issue right now.
Right.
So, but you're right. You do have to be prepared for that.
You had to be prepared
I
for that.
just feel as though I don't ever want to be in the situation where I have to wait for that money to come
Right.
in and then I pay that mortgage.
Right.
Because then I could be in trouble.
And then not only that, when they leave your property, you got to be prepared to fix it back up. You got to have the funds. That's not your situation. That was mine.
Actually, I haven't had that in the 4 people
And
that
that-
have
and
rented
that's-
since
and that's-
that time.
that's what
I
I'm
haven't-
saying. It's
but
awesome.
I usually get it. I usually have it freshly painted, not the whole thing,
Yes.
but what needs to be painted, and any small repairs. But that hasn't been
could
much
only
at
tell
all.
you, Jackie.
But the good thing is, you get to write that off your taxes too when you're renting.
If I could only tell you, Jackie, how my beautiful home has been left.
Oh, God.
So I'm not talking about renters. We
Right.
want to help you to buy.
That's right.
Right?
We
We want to
do.
help
We
you to
do.
buy
We
your
do.
own property.
If that is your choice.
If that's your
We have to
choice.
still keep
If
that
that's
in
your
mind.
choice, yes.
Of course, other cons would be the price of rental fees could increase at any time. Usually when you're paying a mortgage, you pretty much know what that's going to be. The property taxes may increase, over time, and that will add to your mortgage. But the mortgage payment itself is going to remain the same over the time period that you have.
No, that's not 100%.
Okay. The
You-
mortgage itself.
The principal and interest.
That's what I mean when I say that. Principal and
They
interest.
don't know that.
Well, principal and interest. Thank you for clarifying that.
Yes.
That's why you're here.
Okay.
Principal and interest.
The principal and interest,
Yes,
right.
that's
But the
right.
taxes
Right.
and your insurance
Will
may change your
Yes,
monthly
that's right.
payment.
That's right.
Okay.
Exactly. So,
I didn't know if you want to do that now or wait
Oh,
until
no,
later.
it's
But
fine.
okay.
It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, as a real estate agent, I've seen for rental properties, and these are homes that private owners are renting out, that they have increased since COVID. So we're talking a maybe 2.5 years, definitely last 2 years, an increase of anywhere from 9% up to 20%. Now, I really haven't seen 20%, but I know that because I've had renters recently who have not been able to get in the rental market because, or get a new rental because what they thought they were going to pay, which for, let's say, a 2-bedroom, one to maybe, let's say 2-bedroom, one full bath, maybe 1.5 at the most, 1650. You could get one for 1650. Now the area, depending on where it was located, of course, but people who were in that particular price range could always find a decent place. Now, when I go in to bring up that price range, what I'm usually seeing more times than not, Barbara, is renting someone's basement in their home. Now that might be a little less, maybe 1,500, but
that's still a lot for a basement, right?
It is. But there will be a kitchen down there. It's like an apartment in someone's basement,
lower level.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's reasons why this has happened.
That's right.
There's reasons why this has happened.
That's right. And then my clients who were looking for 1,800, which bumps you up to 2 bedrooms, 2 bath, they can forget that. They're now looking at 2,000, 2,200.
2,200, yeah.
So
I believe it. I believe
several people have either not been able to get a new place. One client, someone that you personally know, just emailed me saying, I've been
out of
looking
this.
for a while. I'm out of this.
I'm out of this.
Yep, she just emailed me the other day. So it's happening. It's happening. So just like the price of homes increased, the price of rentals also
have increased.
And usually, and this is your area, Barbara, usually a person who wants to own can usually own a property for less than they would pay in rent. Usually.
The monthly payment could possibly, that's a little caveat there, right? But we're going to talk about rent versus buying. But the caveat is prior to March of 2022, before we got hit with those higher interest rates,
right.
when their interest rates were like 3.5, even 4% was good at that time. But prior to December, they were 2.5%. So the monthly mortgage payments are a little bit higher now. The principal and insurance is a little bit higher now. But I also wanted to add in, Jackie, the reason being why we're in this situation, right? The 2 years of COVID and coming out of COVID, and why prices for the rentals have gone up. Needless to say, a lot of landlords lost money during COVID because of the laws and the landlord laws, and with renters not paying their rent because of the crises that we're in, and then the landlords trying to recoup their money from, should I say it, government funds?
Yes.
Right? But there are a lot of renters out there that continue. They didn't lose their jobs, and they continue to pay their monthly rent. So those landlords were okay. But because of everything that happened, those landlords, just like you, might not have been prepared. Because the mortgage companies were still asking for their money. But there were also programs out there for the landlords, and for the landlords to get on programs with the mortgage company. But again, that's why Jackie and I do this. I bet a lot of people didn't even realize it. They didn't even realize what they could do to help not only themselves out, but to also help their renters out. I even know a renter that's renting a home. The landlord got on that program, but guess what? He didn't pass it on to the renter.
Oh, no.
The renter was still responsible. Instead of saying to the renter, we know what's going on, we're going to give you 1 or 2 months reprieve, maybe save some of your money in case something happens. No, you're still going to pay your rent. But the renter did continue to pay their rent. Thank goodness they were able to continue to pay their rent, but the landlords didn't even pass it on. Now, that's not something they had to do, but I felt some kind of way about that.
Agree.
You know what I'm saying? You're getting a break. Give somebody else a break, right?
Definitely.
So I just wanted to let everybody know the reason why we're seeing these prices go up in rental property.
All right, Barbara. So some more pros with purchasing. Of course, if you own the home, you're able to make any type of change in the home that you may want. Okay, if you're renting, sometimes the owner will say, well, you can paint a wall or two or whatever, but it has to be a neutral color, and you know, you can't do anything fancy. So
Right.
that's one of the things I always tell my rental clients. You have to check with the landlord first.
Yes.
So oftentimes, if they like a property, I will put that in a question to them before they even sign on the dotted line.
Absolutely.
Because, you know, they would want to know what can they do and what can't they do. But if it's your home and you own it, your home and you own it,
Do what you want.
you
Do
can
that
do what
signature
you-
wall.
That's
Do that
right,
red
that's
signature
right,
wall
that's
that you
right,
all been
that's
waiting
right,
for.
that's right. As long as it's on the inside of the home.
Inside of the home.
Because, of course, if you're with an HOA, you would have to check with them to find out what they
Absolutely.
allow also.
On the outside of the
That's
home,
right,
yes.
that's right. So freedom to modify your home is your choice if you're a homeowner. Of course, if you also are a homeowner, you get to write off the taxes that you pay on the home. And today, unless you are a business owner, my understanding is there are not many tax write-offs that you would have if you're not a business owner,
Right.
for the most part.
It used to be, if you just own a home, it used to be all the interest. Because remember, the first 15 to 18 years of purchasing a home is mainly interest. It's not principals, not insurance, it's not your taxes, it's interest. So we were able to write those numbers. I remember at one point I was able to write off like $35,000 a year. That's a whole lot of money to be able to write off, right? But you know, it's been stepped in, and now we have limitations on how much money you can
That's
write
right,
off.
that's right. Well, one of the things we're going to talk about later is what you're talking about versus some other ways you can make those tax benefits
Ooh.
help you.
Yes,
Okay,
Jackie.
all
Okay.
righty.
I love it. So it's that time again.
It is.
We're going to take a short break, but we want you to come back because I know a lot of you out there are very interested in these pros and cons in renting versus buying. So please do not change that station. Stay right there with us, and Jackie and I will be back with you momentarily.
It is key that you mind your mental health.
Hey guys, how's everyone doing this week? Hi.
Use the 5 keys to mental
Well, this week
movement.
has been a really monumental week for me. I realized that I was not being myself.
Reaching out.
Be positive attitude person self, like you guys know me to be. I was
Staying
listening to
upbeat.
teaching and get back to that happy, cheery self you guys of me.
This week's been kind of
Being
stressful,
creative.
all of the workload that we have on online learning. So I've been trying to use different platforms and different websites to help ease my mind and ease my stress.
And what about you, Margaret?
Well, you guys know me. I just love to work with others and serve them.
Serving others.
Realize that when I serve others, my mind is off of myself.
That's right. And don't forget, self-care is key.
Self-care.
All right. So see you guys next week.
Right.
Bye.
Your mind matters.
I'm glad you came back to join us again. That means that you're very interested in this topic, right, Jackie?
Yes.
Right?
And it's
So-
an interesting topic to be a part of.
It's an
definitely.
interesting topic to be a part of. So Jackie's going to give us some more food here because I think this is just awesome.
It is. Thank you, Barbara. So, as I said in the beginning of this, there are usually about 4 points that you should pay attention to. We've kind of gone over them, but just so that you know the specific 4 points. One is how long do you plan to stay in your home, whether you're renting versus buying? Because if it's a short term, of course, the rental works. If it's long term and you want to be able to build equity, of course,
Absolutely.
the home ownership would work. So that's one thing. Have you saved enough money to purchase a home? Now we all know that saving money and having money to purchase a home is one of the most important things, in addition to having a great credit score or having a decent credit score. And so Barbara and I have already talked about ways that if you don't have quite the money,
All the
all
money.
that there are ways that she can help you, and I know a little bit about that too.
Of course you do. Of course you do.
So there are down payment assistance programs to help cover some of the money.
It covers
And
some of
as
the
we've
cost.
said in many of our shows, homeowners used to give around 3% to help with closing costs. And due to the market that we have, a seller's market on steroids, I like to call it, the sellers no longer need to really put that out there. However, I do need to say, I have been pulling up listings and I have been seeing that coming back. It's very slowly coming back, but
I have
it
a couple
is
of
coming
clients,
back.
Jackie, that
Yes.
they've gotten 3% closing costs. That has been unheard of for a long
For a
time.
long time. For a long time.
Because it used to be 6%. Because with
Yeah.
FHA, you could give up to 6%.
Right, but I have never known anyone to do that. But that's just because I haven't been in the market in the real estate
Right.
industry that
But
long.
it used to be
You've
6%.
been in there.
Back in my day, it was 6%.
Yes.
We would give yes.
And so another thing is, can you afford all the extra costs? We've already talked about some of those things that you need to be prepared for, whether it's to replace your roof whenever that comes up, get a new home HVAC, air conditioning, heating system, whether you need a new water heater. That was the first thing that went in my first place was my water heater, my water tank. And that was quite a surprise. Actually, in both of my places, I have been an owner now of 3. And so the first one was brand new, but it took 25 years, something like that, maybe around 20 years, and it was gone, just gone.
And you notice that when them cold showers start happening, and you got to turn
Actually,
that
no,
nugget up a little bit.
wasn't even
No,
that.
it wasn't even
It wasn't
that.
even
Really?
that. It
Okay.
was sleeping in the middle of the night and hearing.
Oh, now that wasn't good.
So
that wasn't
was the
good.
first one. That was the first one. In the second home, it was arriving late from work around 7:00 p.m. and walking into my kitchen and realizing that my kitchen floor was wet.
You had the bad experiences.
Oh yeah, I did.
Okay.
I've had 2.
Okay.
And so this home, that shouldn't happen with this particular home now. And not that it can't, but
Right.
it was a brand new home just 7 years ago. So hopefully it has some more life on
Right.
that bad boy. But those are experiences, now they hook up this little pipe for you and the water can flow outside. So if you're lucky enough to have that could save you.
That could save you.
I didn't have it at either place. So.
We live and we learn,
We
right?
do,
Lessons
we
of being a
do,
homeowner.
We do. Okay, so the other part that as I said earlier, I had a conversation with my tax preparer, and some of this came up as a personal question to him. And then I decided to look up some more information and learn some more.
Okay.
As an educator, I like to educate and I like to learn also.
That's awesome, because she didn't call me and ask me. But
I sure didn't.
She did it on her own.
I just said, this is going to be our topic because I thought it was interesting.
there we go.
So they're basically, if you are a homeowner, and there's one at least that you can get as a renter. But if you're a homeowner, there are 8 tax benefits. And Barbara did mention one. And in our discussion, we can refer to that as SALT, S-A-L-T.
S-A-L-T.
State and local taxes. Now, I'm sure you knew that. I had actually never seen that before. And if I had
The
it
word
just-
SALT or state and local taxes?
State and local taxes
Oh, okay.
with that with that connection that you call state and you can call state and local
Always an
taxes.
acronym.
SALT, exactly.
Always an
exactly.
acronym.
So when I saw that, I said, "Oh, okay." So I'm sure Miss Linda over here already knew that. I'm sure she did.
Well, if people really read their taxes, right, homeowners? Because people don't really read their taxes. They just really don't. Okay. I wasn't talking about Jackie, but she gave her own self away. I'm just saying, people go get their taxes done, and they just assume everything is okay.
But I'm just talking about SALT.
I understand.
So now I need to look to see if he has SALT.
He does not have
Okay, well,
SALT,
that's
Jackie.
What I thought. That's what I thought.
Okay.
So I'm not talking about that you
Don't go get your taxes looking for salt. That's only in your cupboard. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Let me digress. Okay.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
She
so
looked up
as
an
we
acronym.
said,
That's
state
my
and
Jackie.
Local, state and local taxes,
Yes.
SALT. And so as Barbara was saying earlier, that deduction has decreased. And my information shows that it decreased since 2017. So prior to
Been a while.
2017, it was much higher.
Much higher.
Much higher. However, personally, I feel like it's still worth it to be a homeowner because I can write some of that off.
Especially if you don't have any other,
That's right.
deductions.
That's
like I
right.
tell friends and family things. I'm not a tax person. I'm a mortgage loan officer. So don't call me with all your
That's
tax
right.
questions.
That's right.
But personally, I like to tell my friends and family things that they can do if they want to get more deductions, especially my single friends that are just working every day and that's all they're doing is working a W-2 job every day.
That's right.
But there's things you can do. Reach out to somebody, talk to somebody, because Uncle Sam's getting all your money. All your money.
Good point. Good point. So if you're a homeowner, you can write up to $10,000 off if you are married, and if you're single, up to $5,000 off of your property, state and local taxes, off of your state and local taxes. So that's very, very important to know. And so this is an example here. So if you're a homeowner and you now pay $7,000 in state income taxes, but your property taxes are $6,000, you're able to deduct $3,000 of your total property tax bill. So I like that. I mean, it's better than nothing.
Nothing.
Okay, it's better
It's
than nothing.
something.
However, that's not the only tax break that we get. That's the one most people focus on.
It's
But
the taxes.
There are others. And of course, if you're in some of those states where everything is ridiculously expensive, although I feel like that's here where we are in
Yes,
the DMV.
we're in one of the areas.
However, my little research
We're one of the
didn't even have-
counties.
didn't even have DMV on there.
Yeah.
Didn't have
Really?
Didn't have District
You
of
were more
Columbia,
Western?
Maryland, or Virginia on there. No, this is across the United States. This information is across the United States. So it had states like we all know California is
I
off the
said
chain.
Western California.
Okay.
Isn't
We all know
California West?
California.
Oh.
Okay, well, I thought you meant Western County. I'm sorry. I didn't
No.
quite get that.
Okay.
Okay. So California. Of course, New York is known for that. Hawaii, places like that. So
Higher
anyway,
places, yes.
Around this area, it's still worth it. Of course, the mortgage interest deduction, which we did talk about. You're able to get, yes, mortgage interest deduction. So my research shows that prior to, I've forgotten exactly what year that was, 2017 also. I guess those laws changed.
That's when everything
in
changed,
2017.
yes. I remember when my accountant sent me an email and said, Barbara, I said, oh, for real? Okay. You won't catch me.
But to me, this one is still very good because I have not, it says that if you are married and you're filing jointly, that you can deduct up to $750,000 of interest off of your, that you paid from your mortgage. I mean, I'm not going to have that much. I'm not in that price range. So I'm not going to have that much.
750,000?
Yes, 750,000, yes. And
That would mean your home would need to cost more than 750,000.
That's right. That's right.
I just wanted to clear it up.
Exactly. Thank you for saying that. And if you're single or filing separately, it's 375,000. So it's half still. Most of the time, that's going to be true. So anyway, also, which I didn't remember or know, I think I used to know this, that if you get what's called a HELOC, Barbara, tell us what a HELOC.
Home equity line of credit.
Yes.
Home equity line of credit.
Yes.
And that's when you go to maybe your personal bank and you just say you want to borrow some money from your equity in your home. That's a totally different loan from your mortgage.
That's right. That's right. And I did that a long time ago.
A lot of people do it. People do it today. Yes.
Many years ago,
Yes.
my first property. And so anyway, you can deduct that interest also.
Absolutely.
And you can also deduct it if you have a second home. So lots of times it only works for your primary residence, those little benefits, but this one you can also get for your second home.
get
So
your
I thought that
interest.
was very good to know. And mortgage insurance deduction. So the first one was mortgage interest deduction. This is mortgage insurance deduction. So if a homeowner has an adjusted gross income, we're not going to really talk about exactly what that is.
Right.
You're going to need to talk to your tax person about what that is. But an adjusted, after all of your deductions, I guess, have been taken out, whatever your gross income is after all of that, not what you make from the top. So if it is up to $100,000, if you're married filing jointly, and $50,000 if you're filing separately or single, you can also deduct the mortgage insurance premium.
Premium.
Okay, and most people that I know anyway have MI. I'm sure there are lots of people who don't because
well, anyone, let's just say it this
What it
way.
is,
Don't say
yes.
most people that you know. Let's say it
well,
this way.
yeah,
If you do not put 20%
Thank you, Bob.
down, and we won't talk about credit scores, but if you do not, and I'm not even differentiating between conventional and FHA and government loans,
Right.
okay? If you do not put 20% down, you are going to have MI, period.
That's right. That's right.
Period.
That's right.
And most people are not putting 20% down these days.
Okay. So not just the people that I know.
I wanted to clear that up for her real quick, so I don't want anybody thinking, "Oh, you only deal with people without MI."
Actually,
No,
I'm just talking about people in general. I'm talking about friends, family, and I have not
that was
sold
good.
any of them homes.
That was good.
I have
That
not
was
sold
good.
any of
That
them
was a
homes.
good one.
I know a couple of people who put down 20%.
Oh yeah, there's
I
some
do,
people that
you
will,
know. But you
if
know,
they're selling a home,
yes,
and then purchasing a home,
Yes.
right?
That's
they may
a-
put 20% down. They may
yeah.
utilize
They may put
their money that
even
way.
more than that if
Yeah,
they're selling a home.
yeah.
But yeah, I know a couple people who didn't sell and they were able to do that. So
Mm-hmm.
whatever works for you, whatever works for you, you get out of that mortgage insurance. And so I just had a client
Mm-hmm.
who's getting new construction. This just happened actually just yesterday. And she was able to have an option to get something called single pay mortgage insurance. And
Pay it upfront.
yeah, and so it didn't look like that was going to be beneficial based on the numbers for her. So anyway, that's another option for you. And this is one that I thought was very interesting. A tax-free profit on your home sale. Tax-free profit on your home sale. Okay, so this is something that this is
How
sort
you
of what
get that?
started. This is sort of what started my interest in all of this. So if you sell your home at a profit, okay, you know about capital gains taxes, okay, but if you sell your home at a profit, your capital gains tax are free as up to $250,000
If.
in profit. Okay.
If
Nope, I don't know. What's the if?
there's no if.
If
When you sell your home and you make a lot of money off your home, what are you supposed to be doing with that money? Capital gains, what you talked about,
okay,
okay? But you don't have to worry about that if
if you've lived in your home, this is
if you put it down on another piece of property.
okay. That's one thing. But if you've lived in your home for at least 2 years, which is what started my conversation,
Okay.
you do not have to worry about
Up to 200.
up to 250,000.
But if you get over 250,000,
then
you have to worry about.
yes, paying whatever the capital gains tax would be. So in this instance, we're going to say contact your tax advisor to find out.
So if you sell
specifically.
your home and keep the money,
okay,
put the money in your account is what you.
I'm not saying all that. I'm not saying all that. My
Okay.
information
I
said
digress.
if you live in your home
For
for
2
at least
years,
2 years,
and you sell your home,
and you sell your
and you
home,
get all that profit,
right.
you can keep that money up to 250,000
50,000 is what it says.
and don't pay any
says
capital
that the
gains.
tax free. It's tax free.
Tax free.
Capital gains tax. I'm assuming that's a tax.
That
they're
sounds like
talking
an
about.
investor
So,
happy day. But go ahead.
Well, hey, but they haven't lived in their home. See, that's the point. So that's
So
not
they
gonna
say
work for
yes.
them. Say it again.
So they say yes.
So
You said they haven't lived in that
the
home.
investor may or may not have.
Okay, we're not gonna get through all. We're not gonna go into all of
that,
that, Jackie.
Okay. Anyway,
We're not gonna get into the legal system.
No,
Okay,
we're
we won't
not. We're
get
not.
into
We're
the legal
not.
system.
But I thought
yes.
that was great.
Okay.
That was great. You know, if you make up to $250,000 profit, you may not have to
that's
pay
a whole lot of
capital.
that's a whole lot of
It
equity
is.
in 2
It
years,
is.
right?
Well, in many years.
Yeah.
250,000.
Well, yeah, 2 years. Unless you buy a house for
No,
us to
not
say.
two. No, I'm not saying in 2 years. I'm not saying in 2. I'm just saying in general.
In general, that's a
lot
whole lot of
It
it's a whole lot of
is. It
equity.
is. It
Usually
is a lot
like
of
a
equity.
flipping type of
It is a lot of
mechanism.
equity.
Again, we're not going to get into legalities.
not.
Okay. Don't do that. But go ahead, Jackie.
Okay, so I think that was number 5.
Was that number
I
5?
think
Okay.
I believe that was number 5 on our list of 8. And so number 6 is one that I have actually been able to take advantage of just a little bit. But now that this has come to my attention, I'm going to be paying even more attention to it in the future. And this is a residential energy credit.
Yes.
Okay, the residential energy credit.
Yes, that's
So one of the reasons I believe we've seen an increase in solar panels is because that qualifies as one of the tax benefits. Of course, anything that
anything energy efficient.
That's
If you
right.
upgrade your home, anything energy
That's
efficient.
Right. That's
yeah.
right. So
yeah.
of course they make everything now energy efficient,
Right.
more energy efficient. So you could get a new HVAC if it qualifies. There's actually a link that you can go to, and I actually don't have that link in front of me right now. But you can Google it, okay? You can Google
For
it.
energy
to get,
efficient,
yeah,
yes.
energy efficient with the government. They'll have a list of everything. But it's down to light bulbs if you want to keep track of
There's
that.
energy efficient light bulbs.
Yeah, energy efficient light bulbs.
Whole
That's a
lot of
very
things.
simple way.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you make purchases of appliances, that's how we were able to get our latest
Refrigerator,
one. A refrigerator.
stoves,
It was right on
anything
there.
running.
We got it. We got the break right
Wash
there.
machine,
That's
dryer.
right.
And
That's
another
right.
thing, and I don't mean to digress a little bit because I used to do what's called weatherization when I was in the project manager field.
Okay.
And you can actually call your local government and it for older homes. And there is a program called the weatherization program. And so if you have an older home, they will send. Most of the times it's free. Now you can get any contractor to weatherize your home, and what they're doing is looking for penetrations, maybe at the door and you could use those type of things too. They'll come in and they'll tell you what is drawing your energy, right?
Excellent.
And then that way you can find out, and maybe try to get some of these benefits.
Excellent. Excellent tip, Barbara. I love that. So, of course, things like a wind turbine. I don't personally know anybody who has a wind turbine, but if you get a wind turbine, you can get big bucks back for that.
Someone has it. They're selling it.
Someone
has it, right?
That's right. That's right. And so I'm hoping that this date of December 31st, 2023, that's when the current energy tax credit is going to end, that they're going to renew that, because that only makes sense.
Right.
I mean, we are trying to make our earth last and do all types of energy efficient things with gas, and of course going from gas to electric, and not burning the fuel oils.
Right, exactly.
So-
And the thing about it is you have to look at the long haul, because you got to spend money to try to save money, right? So again, like Jackie told, get with your accountant to see what the benefits are of whether you're getting your house weatherized, whether you're buying energy efficient, whether you're getting solar panels. Make sure you get with your accountant to see what it is that you're going to save as far as any type of credit or any type of taxes that you're going to save.
That's right.
Correct?
That's right.
Yeah. So
That's
we
right.
just want to make sure everybody knows to do that. Don't just run out and spend money
Good
in
point.
hopes to save money.
Good
Just
point.
double check and look and see what your individual situation
Yes,
is, right?
good point.
Yep.
Okay, so the one benefit that renters and homeowners can get is the home office benefit, tax
Oh,
benefit.
yes, that's
home
another.
office.
Now, yeah, you're getting into the tax part. I love this, but look, we got to take another a break, right? We got to pay pay our sponsors, or sponsors pay us. Which is it? I don't know. But
Pay our
anyway,
sponsors.
stay with us, and we will be right back. See you soon.
Badass us. Yeah, that's right. That's who we are. Badass us. What? Who are we? We are women. Beautiful, accomplished, and divine. That's right. Badass us. Yeah. Who are we? We are gentlemen. Our brothers, accomplished and determined. Yet, as society see us, we must still change the narrative. Yeah, that's right. Who are we? The black community. Remember us? We are accomplished. We are determined. We are divine. We are of greatness. That's right. The black community. Badass us. Who are we? That's right. Who am I? I am the person committed to building the next community movement. What about you?
And welcome back to Mortgage Financing and Being Home Buyer Ready. I'm Barbara Grant, Cardinal Financial.
And I'm Jackie Abrams with Samson Properties.
And we are still here discussing the pros and the cons of renting versus buying,
Yes,
right? And we were
yes.
just getting ready to get to another one that we know everyone has this now. Everyone. Which is it?
They have it?
Oh, everyone has this in their home now. Think about it. COVID,
Oh,
2
I'm
years.
sorry.
Everyone has it
sorry.
in their office now.
Okay. So they have it, but do they know they can take advantage of it?
That's
They
what
can-
you
it can
get
be a
ready to
tax
tell them.
benefit, right.
Absolutely.
So home-based offices. If you have
Yes.
a home-based office, whether you rent or own, you can get a tax deduction based on that.
Based on your home base office.
However, there are what's called stipulations. Of
Always
course.
stipulations.
Stipulations. So if your home office means that you have a laptop and it's sitting on top of your dining room table, and that's where you do your work because your children are not around. If you have children, no one's around. That is not going to count as your home office deduction. That is not going
Can't
to count.
put dining room minus 5,000.
That's right. That's right. That is not going to help you. However, if you have a designated room that the law says needs to be designated just for working your home office, then that room can be deducted.
Yes.
And also, if your tax advisor, I'm sure they all know how to do this, but you can also deduct part of your energy bill. Did you know that, Barbara? I'm just asking.
That's part of energy efficient. Yeah.
No, not because of your home office. So, for example, if you
Yes.
pay electric bill per month,
Right.
based on the formula that the government
they use
gives,
for your home office.
you can deduct a part of that energy bill.
I
You
didn't
can
know that.
deduct
I
a
thought
part
that was
of
all
that.
part of the energy
No, it's
efficient
not.
part.
It's
You
not.
your
The
home
heat,
office, you
the
can-
air, I believe water also. I
Yeah.
had to give all of that information to my accountant.
Wow.
And I didn't know to do that all the years that I've had a home-based office.
Okay.
That's a different story. But anyway, it
Teaching
did
me
help.
something,
It did
but
help.
My
It
home
did help.
base, a lot of stuff is written off, but go ahead.
Yes. And so that's really the key, is that it's an office and that it has certain things that an office might have. I don't know if desk is still one of those things with a laptop now, but perhaps it is. You have to have a desk in there. They say to have like a file cabinet type of thing to make it look
But
like
I bet
a real
people are
office.
asking, how do they know this?
I know, because I've asked the same question.
You haven't
I
figured
have
it out?
asked. They haven't asked me for any pictures. I have pictures. I was prepared. I'm prepared.
So when
with
you
pictures.
purchased your property, in the description of your property, what type of rooms do they say that you have?
It's not going to say an office.
How many rooms? Mine did. Home base, so my description was in there. Yes, it was.
Yeah,
it
but-
has so many bedrooms. It got so many bathrooms. It describes home office.
But
It has how
not-
many rooms?
Not every home has a designated office.
Absolutely. That's what I
However,
said. That's,
you can designate an area to be an office.
but you can't designate the dining room.
No,
You just
because
said that.
because you're doing other things in the dining room.
How did that's the point I'm
Okay,
getting?
okay,
Yeah,
I'm
that's what
sorry.
I'm getting to you.
Okay.
How do you know? If I want to designate my dining room as a
Oh.
home office, right? And in my descriptions, it doesn't have
I see.
something that's saying
I see.
there's a home office
I
or
see what
extra
you're saying.
room or some or even the basement. And you might even have to put that on your taxes that you have, because some people get their basements done after the fact. It could be a home office and they never got an appraisal because they never got any type of inspection done to the house, right? Because if you've taken money out of your house, then an appraisal was done, right?
If
and
you
now it
refi,
says if you
refi,
refi or HELOC,
Right.
whatever. Sometimes they come. Sometimes they do drive-bys.
Okay.
Okay, but they have to know the value of the home, so they'll ask you, "What do you have in your home?" Right?
Good point.
The more rooms you have, the more value of your home. So there's never think there's not a way.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay. But when you said how would they know?
Right.
I wasn't thinking.
Nobody
how
was
would they know?
nobody thinks that. And now you got years of taxes with all of this, and then all of a sudden, for whatever reason, an audit is done. Be careful.
Good point. Good point. Thank you.
We want to keep you safe
That's
too.
right.
Right?
That's right. That's right. Keep all of us safe.
Keep it all. That was a disclaimer.
So that home office-based deduction, as I said, is definitely for homeowners, but it can also be for renters, and that I did not
Because you can
know.
have an office, because you have a den. That could be your office.
Yes, so I actually have never said that to any of my renters before, so I'm going to start adding that to, oh, this is a nice one because it has blah,
A
blah,
lot of people
blah.
use dens in apartment complexes. They'll use a den for a extra bedroom for a child bedroom or something like that.
right.
But if they know that it can be used for a home office, they may.
That's right. That's right. And that would only be beneficial, of course, if they are going to itemize on their taxes.
Itemize. That's the key. That's it,
if they're
Jackie.
gonna
That's right. You
itemize on
have
their
to
taxes.
be
So,
itemizing.
Yeah. So whether
Absolutely.
that's for the homeowner, which I don't know why a homeowner wouldn't itemize. I can't think of a reason, but lots of renters probably do.
Well, some of our people like to be tax accountants. They do their own taxes.
What does that have to do with it? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. You said, I don't know why somebody would not itemize. And I said, some people like to be their own
Gotcha,
accountants
gotcha.
and they do their
it's-
own
and
taxes.
It's easier for them.
It's
just
easier.
to-
It's
just
just
to do
easier.
standard.
Yes.
Okay. Again, see, Barbara.
I'm sorry. That was not my intention. I just want you to know that was not my intention. But I see a lot of that.
Yeah, okay. I
Okay.
guess you do. 'Cause
Yes.
You get to look at what people are
Yeah, I get to
doing.
look at.
That's right. That's right. So anyway, if you're doing the standard deduction, okay, and this would, as I said, mostly be something that most renters are probably going to do. I guess that the standard deduction increased when we had the previous president in office. I think that's what happened. And so it's actually at an amount that's around $25,000.
Okay.
So if you don't have any deductions above that, then it doesn't pay to itemize. Okay, it doesn't pay to itemize.
Absolutely.
Does that kind of make sense?
It makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense.
So that's for a married filing jointly. If you're a single person, then that amount is actually $12,950. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I always did standard deductions before I became a homeowner. I'm pretty sure I did. Way back when.
Because you think you have nothing else to write off.
That's right. That's
You
right.
think you have nothing
Although
else.
back in the day, and I've just had this conversation with 3 of my clients who are significantly younger than I am. They had no idea that you could write off credit card interest. And back in the day, you remember that, right, Barbara? Okay,
You
because
could write off a whole
a
lot of stuff.
whole lot of stuff
back in the
exactly.
day.
And when I
Those
said that
laws
to
were changed.
yes, to like 3 people within the last month, they said, "I've never heard of that." And I said, "Oh yeah, you can write off the interest on your car loan."
Interest was interest.
Interest was interest. Exactly. Thank you for saying that. I didn't say that to them that way, but interest was interest, and you could deduct that from your taxes.
A whole lot of stuff.
And they said to me, "Are you kidding?" I said, "No, I wouldn't joke. I don't joke about some things. That's the truth." I said, "Ask your parents."
And there's a whole lot of, and I'm not an accountant, and you do that with your accountant, but you're talking about write-offs too. And there's a whole lot of differences now with sole proprietor and actually registering a business too. So just reach out to a professional and just make sure, and I'm talking to the homeowners first, if you want to get maximum for your deductions, make sure you reach out to a professional, have them go through all of this. And if you didn't hear some of this stuff that Jackie is saying, find yourself another professional, right?
That's right.
Find yourself
That's
another
right.
professional
That's right.
or educate yourself. That's what we want to do.
That's right.
Anyway, we want to help you
Exactly.
educate
Exactly.
you, right? So educate
Because
yourself.
if we think about it, our renters, they've been doing what they've been doing, and they don't know.
And they don't
so
know.
they are now homeowners, and they don't know you can write all these things
They
out.
don't know that you can write all these
And
things
we
out.
have worked with a few clients who had tax preparers who may not have known the stuff either.
That's why I said, if you heard it here, and there's
That's
some
right.
things that are not clicking, reach out to a tax preparer.
That's right.
If they're not telling you this, find yourself another professional.
That's right. That's right. And I have a newer client who always Googles everything. And so sometimes when I'm telling her something, she's like, "Oh, thank you for saying that. I saw that in Google. I
Google.
saw that on Google."
That's what they call me.
So-
Google. I Google everything.
Hello.
Google.
Hello.
Right.
So anyway, today has been a day to talk about the pros and cons of renting versus buying.
Did we get everything out, Jackie?
I
We're going to
do
have to
believe we
revisit
did.
this.
I believe we got everything in there.
You think we had everything?
I
we
mean,
didn't
now
go-
let me just say that there are tons, I'm going to say tons of information out
Mm-hmm.
there that could be added to this discussion. So there could be a part two. There could be.
There could be a part
Not
two.
with what we have today, because I specifically tailored it to
Mm-hmm.
this hour. But if you were to quote unquote Google, you will find, just all types of information
Types
out
of
there. I
things.
tried to make it concise
Yeah.
and easy to
Things you
understand.
can write off as a homeowner and as a renter.
That's right.
Things
So
you can
then,
write off and
then
things
some
that
of the
you can
pros
do.
and cons to think about. But there are formulas out there. There, really kind of mind-boggling things out there.
Yeah.
So we didn't get into
And
the
the main
weeds of
thing
it.
is you want to get the best out of your taxes. With everything that's happening, people want to keep more money in your pocket. There used to be a time I used to say certain things with people that got mortgages. I don't do that anymore because of the stigma that's on certain type of mortgages. Only the people that I would educate on certain mortgages, I would tell them certain things. But there are things out there that you can do to keep more money in your pocket and not always give your money to someone else.
That's
right. But you got to be obedient and disciplined, right? So I don't give that information out too much unless I know the person well enough and I know that they're obedient and disciplined in things that they do, right? But this has been an awesome show today.
It has been.
This
It
has been an awesome
been.
show today, and we are so glad you joined us again. This hour went quickly, Jackie,
As it
again.
always does,
But
as
we
it
hope that
always
this
does.
has been very informative for you, because we always want to make sure that we are educating you and giving you the knowledge that you need. And again, always reach out to us if you need us, correct?
That's right. That's right. And I guess, are we going to say our...
Yeah, let's do
Audience,
that, because
okay.
it's time. They're telling us to cut it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you want to be an audience with us, homebuyingaudience@gmail.com. And if you have any questions, homebuyingquestions@gmail.com. We
Okay.
made that very simple for you.
Okay, very good.
But the reason that we're here and that we come to see you twice a month is because we want you to remember that we are here to help you.
They're always here to help you.
Always here to help you, because we want you to be home buyer ready.
See you in 2. Take care.